Grasshoppers are tough. When they're young, when those first instars are coming out, you can use Nolo bait. N-O-L-O. Nolo bait works on young grasshoppers. It does not work on large ones very well. Once they get mature, they're tough. At that point, plant oils and or kaolin clay. What kaolin clay is, it's a talcum powder consistency clay that you mix with water and add some soap with it, and you spray your plants, and it puts a particle film on the foliage and on the stems. Pecan growers taught me about how well it works. You've got to spray real heavily, and it definitely puts a strong particle film that you see. That's the only negative. But it will repel grasshoppers. It does work. And there's university research backing it up. There is EPA products available if you want to go that route, or you can just go to the supply houses that sell kaolin clay generically and use it. It's exactly the same stuff. But it actually, even though there's a white film on the plants, it actually increases photosynthesis. I guess it refracts the light around real well and does something, but it is your only other tool. One thing we've noticed that's fascinating in going around and visiting with different organic growers, farmers, ranchers, and homeowners, they have, in general, very little grasshopper damage. I've had 2 or 3 in the last 3 years at my house, grasshoppers, and they were all 3 sick. There is a bacteria in the ground in healthy, biologically active soil that gets them. That's why people have so much trouble with them, out in the country where they're not irrigating and there's not, good, heavy, lush growth. So planting the property lines real heavy if you have a big place, and really having as lush planting with native plants and all, and healthy biological soil is extremely important. It's also important in controlling fire ants. They can only be controlled with an organic program. If the chemicals controlled them, why do we still have so many around all over the place? But the organic people don't. My garden is almost an acre, and I don't have any fire ants, and haven't for 10 years or so, except for one that came in a bag of pine bark that I don't even use pine bark, and I brought some in to do a TV show one time to show people the different mulches, and I brought fire ants into my property that were in the bag. And then the other thing is that there'll be one mound that'll set up shop right out on the curb at the front yard, like they're thinking about, well, should we try it this year or not? But the control of fire ants, in my opinion, and it works, is threefold. One is you drench the problem mounds with organic drenches, and you can use any of the orange oil-based products. I like orange oil, compost tea, and molasses. There are other mixtures, commercial, and you can use my formulas right off the website, dirtdoctor.com, if you want to go that route. The plant oils also work as a drench. And then what you broadcast on the site, then, if the budget allows and if you need to, is beneficial nematodes. You can also use the new bait that's on the market called spinosad. I don't have any problem with that. Or spinosad, I guess is the proper pronunciation. It works, and the universities are now starting to recommend a 2-step organic program. Orange oil drenches and spinosad as the bait, and we're delighted about that. The third step is to be totally organic, because if you're organic and you have wonderful biodiversity, the fire ants don't like it. They go somewhere else. And for any of you that are just starting with this organic approach, if you'll go home and stop on the way and buy some dry molasses and throw it out all over the property, it'll probably run the fire ants off right there by itself. We've had report after report after report of it doing just that. One big ant mound, if any of you live in the country, that I want you to not hurt is the red ant. The harvester ants are beneficial. They're food for the horned toad, and they are really good at spreading biodiversity throughout the property and are very beneficial. They will bite you, and it hurts if you sat down in the mound, so I would recommend you do not do that.